Hello there and welcome. It's Power Coach Alicia here. I was just sitting here thinking about my life and the things that people have always said to me. And the number one thing that I have heard a lot of is like, you are so confident, you know? And it's a truth, right? That I am so confident and I always have been. However, I realize over the last 5 months, I've gone through a lot of transformation. I realized that my whole life I used that confidence as armor, as protection, as a wall, a barrier between me and everyone else, right? Because it was in my subconscious mind, it was a way that I could protect myself but also bring people in to like me and want me a part of their life and love me, because when you are charismatic and confident and you have characteristics that other people want and value and honor and respect, it draws them to you. And so I was able to utilize that power and that energy within myself to pull people in. But that same confidence, that same power, and that same energy would drive people away. People would just stop talking to me. They'd disappear out of my life. They would ghost me. They could be friends. They could be people I was dating. They could be partners. It didn't matter. They would just disappear. And I would never know why. They would never tell me. Well, in this confidence came an unyielding strength that I could carry and hold so much pain, so much trauma, so many burdens and demons and hurt, and not just of myself, but of everyone else. And what ended up happening is that the confidence plus the unyielding strength made it to where I carried so much from the time I was 10 years old until the time I was 40 and almost 41 years old. And it literally collapsed me. It wasn't like I had some great breakdown where I couldn't function and show up to life, because that's just not how my unyielding strength works. But it was my version of that. And what was really crazy about it is I could feel that because of everything that I held, that I knew that this moment was going to be the beginning of me shedding it, setting it down, walking away from it, and really claiming my love and my relationship with myself. You see, because my whole life I thought that confidence that I had was authentic. I thought it was real. But like I said, it was my protection mechanism. And it made people love me, and it made people confide in me and depend on me. And like I said, envy and look up to. And obviously it created jealousy and a whole bunch of other, negative things as well. But at the end of the day, that confidence plus the unyielding strength was the thing that literally just obliterated me, and it collapsed me inside. And I could tell that it was something that people really valued and honored, but it was also something that people didn't want me to be and have. I would notice that people would attempt to break me down, right? Make me smaller, shrink me to fit. And I was always, I thought, very aware of that. But what I wasn't paying attention to is where I was automatically breaking myself down, where I was automatically shrinking myself to fit, where I was automatically taking action that would have me devalue, dishonor, and disrespect my own self. And it wasn't until, March of 2025, it's actually March 25th, 2025, where I learned that all of that, it's interesting because my confidence was authentic, but the reason why I led with it was bullshit, right? The reason why it was my forefront was bullshit. I am an extremely confident person. I still am going through all of it. It's just I don't allow that confidence to push me past capacity and energy that I have to give and knock me out of my soul rhythm. It's like if you look at the description of this live, as I went from interrupting my peace in the name of confidence to declaring that if something interrupts my peace, that it must go, you know? And it's been a lot of years that I heard, oh, if it interrupts my peace, then it's not for me. It goes. And I remember when I first heard that, I thought, oh my God, I could never do that. Shit is interrupting my peace all the time, every day, in every place I could possibly think of. And I guess that was the point of me hearing it at the time. And it had to marinate for years before I realized that that had to be a motto that I adopted as well. And so when I went through this transformation, or I should say, multiples of transformation, 15 plus different transformations in a very short amount of time, I realized that there were so many things interrupting my peace because I wasn't curating, protecting, and honoring my peace within myself. It's like I was sitting in a workshop the other day and someone raised their hand and asked the facilitator, um, how do you not care what people think? And I thought to myself, oh, I have a good answer for this, and the facilitator answered the question, and I, thought her answer was great. And as I sit here and I tell you this story, I'm like, what the fuck did I actually say? Because in the moment, it was so brilliant. Um, but if I was sitting in the same room right now and that question was asked, and I know that this is something like what I said, I don't know why it's like escaping me right now, but if I was sitting in that same room right now and I raised my hand, this is what I would say. The reason why you care so much about what other people think is because of how you view yourself. Because you are getting your validation for your power, your beauty, your amazingness, your everything from everyone and everything else. And it's not to say that we don't care what people think, but it is to say that what they think only goes so far into how you show up and how you treat yourself. Because, when you find that love and that relationship for yourself, you don't put all your weight, emotions, mind, body, and soul energy into what other people think. But the other thing, and this is actually what I said to her, it just came to my mind. What I said to her was, when you stop putting yourself in places that you feel like you have to earn and prove and do all of this work in order to get people to see, hear, and understand you, and you build a tribe around you of people who just get you, where you don't have to explain yourself, where you can just show up and be, that's when you stop feeling like you have to um, shrink or edit or whatever in order for people to like and accept you. And so that's what I said to her. I said, it's about the places you're putting yourself. Like, you're putting yourself in rooms where you feel like you have to prove, where you feel like you have to earn, where you feel like you have to be, do, or have something in order for those people to see, hear, and understand you. But when you shift, one, the way you treat yourself, the way you think about yourself, the way you show up for yourself, the way you value, honor, and respect yourself, and two, the places you put yourself in where you never feel like you need to be or do or have something for them to love and appreciate and accept you, and they just do because you're you, that's when everything changes. See, we go through life working so hard to be seen, heard, and understood, loved and accepted for who we are, but we realize really quickly that the world is full of people who are just really thinking about themselves, and everything moves so fast back into people's selves that when you share something, when you show up in a way, whatever, there might be some acknowledgement of you, but then it goes right back into them and their life and what they're dealing with and what they're going through. And it creates this disconnection in you because you are reaching in the wrong places for people to see, hear, and understand you. And you think that the problem is that you need to change, that you need to grow, that you need to be different. And the truth is, you just need to change your perspective of what your soul tribe looks like, feels like, how they value, honor, and respect you. I have always kept a pretty small group of people around me. I have a lot of people that I could go hang out with and spend time with, but the people that I confide in, the people that I share with, the people that that I would call my tribe, it's a very small group of people. And that's because in those containers, I am free to be me on my worst days, my best days, and every day in between. And I don't have to explain myself, prove myself, and earn my space with them. Now, that doesn't mean that when I met them, that I didn't prove myself, earn my, prove and earn and like, earn my space with them. But that's because that's how I operated and what I thought I needed to do. I have now fully like let go of that and redefined my relationships with the people that are closest to me. And the thing is the fact that they're still here, it just proves to me that I never had to do any of that in the first place, especially when these people have seen me at my worst, right? So the key is when you step into a container that you didn't curate and you step into an environment that you didn't build that was already built, when you hold this kind of energy, like I will only be in spaces, in rooms, in containers, in dynamics, in connections, in relationships, in conversations with people who fully accept the authentic version of me, and you just put that energy out ahead of you, then when you get into those spaces and you feel like you need to shrink or you need to be something or people are judging you or whatever the fuck is going on, you know that that isn't a space, a container, a room, a conversation, a connection that you're going to be in. You're not going to go back to that. You're not going to be there. You're not going to stay there. You're not going to give them your energy because that's not a container that can hold you. And that's the advice that I gave her. Stop stepping into containers that can't hold you and shrinking yourself to fit. And instead, curate and or send your energy ahead of you to say, I only show up in containers. I'm only called to. I only see. I only arrive in containers that can see, hear, and understand and hold the beautiful, amazing, powerful woman I am. I had somebody tell me today, not today, the other day, it'd be really, really interesting. I don't know if the word was interesting. I could only imagine being in a relationship with you because you seem like you would be a lot. Now, they didn't mean it bad. Rephrase. They didn't know that it came out the way that it did. One of my partners says, that didn't sound the way you thought it did. That's the way he lets me know. But what I said didn't sound the way that I thought it did. And it actually came out hurtful, or degrading or demeaning or whatever it is. That's the way that he gives me that note, right? And so it didn't come out the way they thought it did, right? And, normally I would be more in a defensive energy when I respond to that. And I will tell you that it bothered me. Because see, that's that moment when someone says, I could only imagine what it would be like to be with you because you're a lot. No, ma'am, I'm not a lot. I say what I think. I say what I need. I'm clear. You never have to wonder where you stand with me. I give you every single thing you need to be with me. I'm not a lot. It's the people that don't know what they need, that don't know what they want, that can't articulate how they feel, or who are scared, who shrink down, who quiet, who avoid, who haven't learned themselves enough to be able to express what they need, what they want, how they feel loved. And so other people don't know. They're confused. See, I decline to believe that I'm a lot. I believe that I am so different and so honest and so bold and so clear, so direct, and I work so hard on healing, growing, and evolving that I'm not a lot. I just am the 1% of spirits and souls in the world. You have your 1% of people who, make money. I'm the 1% of souls. I'm that person that you don't need to tell that, hey, you did this, you hurt my feelings, you fucked this up, you did that. I notice it. I know what I did. And you want to know how I know? Because I look at your energy and I go, ooh, that hurt their feelings. Ooh, that was harsh. Ooh, that made them mad. I can read people like nobody's business. People that are closest to me and complete strangers, I can read them at the same exact level without them opening their mouth. And then I look at that and I go, hey, how did you want that person to feel? This is what I ask myself. And then when I get my answer, I go to work in healing the way that I showed up. Like, people don't do that. People need someone to tell them what they did wrong, what they said wrong, how they showed up and how they fucked up and how it hurt them and all that stuff, right? It's like, you can't sit there and tell me that I'm a lot when to be in a relationship with me is like, or a friendship with me, it doesn't matter. Like, to be in my world is like, you never feel more seen, heard, and understood and loved than you have anywhere else in your entire life. It's like, I don't know. I reject that. I drive a really nice car. I live in a nice house. I have two partners, ish, yeah, whatever. And people find that as a space to judge me or to say things that are judgmental. And listen, I can hear that, oh, Alicia, you're a lot, from someone else and go, whew, well, they think that I'm a lot. Maybe I should look at my relationships and see if I'm being too much for these people. See, that's what makes you care what people think and then shrink yourself and edit yourself. Fuck that. Them saying that I'm a lot doesn't it, I never put it in my mind and went through that. I didn't go through the cycle of how can I be better, how can people not think that I'm a lot, how can people see me for who I am, how can people, no, fuck that. I don't give a fuck if you think I'm a lot. That doesn't matter to me. You know what matters to me is, do I feel like I'm a lot? Do I feel that I'm demanding too much from other people? Do I feel like it's hard to be with me because of this, or that? And when I am in conversations, conflict, whatever it is, or whatever with someone else, does their energy, mannerisms, auric field show me that I'm a lot? The people around me, they don't go, wow, that was, whoop. Like, they don't act like that because they don't feel that way. And if they do, you know what my answer is? Fuck them. Me being too much or too little for the people around me, that has no bearing on me. I don't give a fuck what people think. Not in that area. But listen, so I've never been a person that walks into a room and is afraid of what people will think about me. That's just not me. Now, have there been times in my life, and when I say times, I mean moments, that has happened? Yes. But when you talk about the grand scheme of things, I could give a fuck less if I walked into a room and, I don't give a shit what people think. However, if someone would tell me what they thought, that's when I would get triggered. Pay attention. I never walked into a room and gave a fuck about what people think the majority of the time. It was the moment that they told me what they thought that would trigger me. Why do they see me like this? Why do they treat me like this? What did I do? Blah, da, da, da. And then my mind starts running into that. Oh, I need to change this. I need to do that. Or maybe I need to do that. Maybe I said this. Maybe I said that. I'd ruminate over what they said about me. Then I learned to ask myself if what they said was true for me. Then I learned to go, what is my truth in the beginning, so that when someone tells me what they think I am and who they think I am and how much they think I am, I can tell them to fuck off politely and they can kiss my fucking ass. So what's my truth? I've got a big heart. I am so kind. I'm loyal to a fault, which I'm working on, because being loyal to a fault fucks me over, right? That's that people pleasing. You don't want to let someone down because you gave them your word, but you're willing to let yourself down while you give the fucking word. Now what do? So I'm working on the being loyal to a fault. I will do anything in my possible power to help you save yourself from yourself. Like, I could go on and on and on about my positive qualities. And I can go on and on and on about my negative qualities. But the one thing nobody will ever choose for me are what parts of my negative qualities I need to work on and what part of my positive qualities are too much. That does not fucking come from someone else. It comes from me. Case in point. The other day, actually, for a chunk of time, I'm not going to give exacts because if someone watches this that is part of any of this, they would be able to figure it out really quick. So for a chunk of time, I was asked over and over and over to step into a container, and you're probably going to see some contention in my face, my voice, my tone, everything. But that's because I was asked over and over and over to step into a container that was not right for me. I was asked to step into this container from the perspective of my growth. I was asked to step into this container for the greater good. I was asked to step into this container from Seeing someone else's point of view, I was asked to step into this container because you never know what I could learn. And there was a point, because there were moments I said yes and then went back and said no, because I realized that the container was extremely bad for me. It would have been more abuse for me. And it was something that had absolutely nothing to do with me. It wasn't something I was willing to work on. Now, I'm going to tell you what it is because that part is important. It was racism. I'm still dealing with some of it now, and we'll see where it ends up. But I know what I've decided. I know where I stand. I know where I'm at, and no one's going to change my mind. The reason why I share this with you is because the work that I've done around my confidence being the false wall and the protection and that side of it is why I can see whether the rooms, the containers, the people, the connections, the conversations are worth it for me to have and step into. And see, that's the challenge that you have. This is why your confidence is causing you constriction inside of your soul in a way. It's like some people are chasing confidence and they don't have it, but the people that have it are using it as an armor, right? And the only way you have confidence and you're not using it as an armor is if you've done the massive amount of work that it takes to get here. And that's, why I exist, is because I want to show you how to claim your authentic confidence without the sacrifice to your soul, your happiness, your body, your mind, the way that you love yourself, your relationships, how you show up, right? And that's the work that I do, is, claiming the authentic confidence, going from using confidence as a protection mechanism to using confidence for your own soul power and for the power of the people in your life. So I wasn't going to sit in these containers. I wasn't going to be able to be told, oh, this is where you need to learn. This is where you need to grow. This is what you need to do. Nobody's going to tell me that. Because I work so fucking hard on my weaknesses and my areas to grow based on myself and how I feel and the people who are closest to me, my soul tribe, then no one's going to tell me that. And even if my soul tribe's like, hey, I'd really appreciate it if you didn't interrupt me, it makes me feel like I don't matter. Well, if I'm working on being demeaning, demanding, controlling, bossy, manipulative, if those are the things where my focus is at, and those are the things that I'm working on, I am damn straight and damn sure not going to put interrupting you on my fucking list. You don't get to decide where I grow. I decide where I grow, what I put on the table, what I work through, what I master, and how I transform. And I start with the things that impact myself and the people that I love the most at the worst levels. And so then it doesn't become about taking this action because this person thinks I should. It becomes I either take the action because, ooh, that bothers me here. It causes this inside of me. It makes me feel disconnected. I feel anxious. I want to shut out. I want to shut away. I want to shut down, or I want to lash out. I want to be aggressive. I want to fucking tell them where the bear shits. I need to find out my work on that. But just because someone lays something on the table doesn't mean that you have to pick it up. And I think that that's the biggest lesson that I have for you here is throughout your whole life, everywhere you go, everything you do, people are going to have opinions and ideas, and they're going to be telling you what the fuck to do everywhere you go. But when you know your truth and you show from that truth and you have claimed your authentic confidence and you've transformed your confidence from protection to your confidence being the power, and you've found your own rhythm and you've regulated your own nervous system and you're in your own energy alignment, what people think you should do, why you should do it, it doesn't become I need to do that for someone else. It starts from, I want to do that for me. That's the work I do. That's what I teach you how to do. And that's what my rhythm program is all about. So if you want to learn how to claim your authentic confidence, be able to show up in rooms, containers, connection, and spaces in your life in an empowering way for yourself and other people, right? And remember who the fuck you are from the inside out, instead of what everyone's telling you should be and what you should do and how you should do it and how it's going to be for the greater good of you, as if you don't know what the fuck is best for yourself, because your soul tells you, your energy tells you, your body tells you. You only need you to figure this out. The difference is you need to know what it's telling you so you know how to move. And that is why the confidence and the people pleasing becomes the protection and the wall right now for you, is because you don't know how to feel yourself and then have the confidence to move from how you feel. What you're doing is you feel yourself, but you want to people please and you want people to love you, and you don't want to walk in a room and have people look at you and feel a way about you that isn't true. So you're constantly adjusting and changing and molding and shrinking and editing because you want to make everybody else feel comfortable. But while everybody else feels comfortable, you're collapsing inside of your soul. So drop a music note in the comments. We can chat via Messenger, see where you're at. I have tons of like free stuff, paid stuff. I have a lot of different things that can help you change your life and help you, and not just change your life, right? Because everybody's just using that as a fucking umbrella. It's not as much about changing your life, but it's about looking in your mirror and going, you are fucking amazing. You are a bad bitch. And when someone decides to tell you how you should be, who you should be, how you should show up, what's going to be better for you, you can either politely tell them to fuck off, or you can sit it on the shelf with all the other things that you're working on, growing through and shifting through and, clearing and releasing from your life and becoming a better version of you. And you can decide if and or when you're going to pull it off the shelf, and that's going to be the thing that you work through. So I want to wrap this up by saying this. Just because it's laid out on the table doesn't mean you have to pick it up. It doesn't mean you have to acknowledge it. It doesn't mean that you have to give it your time, your energy, or attention. You have the choice of whether or not you're going to pick that up. You have the choice of whether or not it's going to be part of what you believe. And please know, this starts from what the fuck is your truth. Knowing that truth from within. So when someone tries to put that on you, whatever the fuck is not your truth, it instantly repels. That's not my truth. That's not my energy. That's not my thing. That's not real for me. Like for me, I don't do racism. I don't do prejudice. I don't do oppression. I don't do any of that bullshit. And I don't need anybody to agree with me. I don't care what your skin color is. I don't do those things. They don't come into my energy field. They don't come into my space. They don't come into my containers. They don't come into my relationships, because I don't do those things. I can tell you with 3 fingers on one hand every single situation that it has happened to me in. And 2 of them was when I was so young that I didn't have the protection around me, the block around me that doesn't allow that to get through. And the one that I have been dealing with the most recently is because I stepped into a container that I didn't curate, and I didn't protect myself before I did. Because I didn't know that I needed to, because I spent my whole life curating the containers that I walked into so that that couldn't be part of my energy field. So the other layer to that is you learning how to protect your growth, your soul, yourself, your emotions, your mind, your heart, so that if you are in a container where somebody thinks that they need to tell you what the fuck to do, you can hold your ground with power, with value, honor, and respect of yourself and that person. And when you walk away, feel fucking proud of that instead of guilty. So drop a music note in the comments if you want to learn more about my rhythm program that's helping you claim your authentic confidence and taking that confidence from being protection and transforming it into your soul power, so that you live in your soul rhythm, so that you live with your nervous system regulated, so that you live in energy alignment and you never fucking apologize for it. I'm Power Coach Alicia, and if no one's told you today, remember that you are worth it. You are always fucking worth it. We'll see you next time.